Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV 7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. My friends, come and join me for a minute and imagine just how amazing you'd feel living the unique and distinct life that you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love with people you love and in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. Well, that's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes a very happy life. And so can my friend, Annette Farha. And she's here to share her unique and distinct journey to her life of significance. But before we bring her on, I'd like to share a poem that we created to thank her for being our guest star today. It's called The Art of Becoming Whole. And it goes like this. In the quiet rhythm of creation's flow, from chaos came a gentle glow. A vision born where peace is grown, Annette shapes both heart and home. With tiny moves and faithful pace, she paints with courage, creates sacred space. She frolics where the light meets form, through love, through loss and love, through every storm. So listen close and feel her way. Let her wisdom touch your soul today. Where purpose stirs with love within, the art of becoming whole begins. Hey, Annette, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. So why don't you get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
I'm an intuitive design coach, so I help you listen to your space and make it your best partner in life. We forget that everything around us is another partner, and when we can remember, we can listen to the wisdom it has for us.
And what about tell us about your book, because you're a new author, right? Am I getting that right?
I am finding my way home. So if you've ever been sick, if you've ever been lost, all you can think about is, I just want to go home, right? And so I wrote a book about my journey. It was a grief journey. So I had a partner who had cancer and won the first time, and the second time I didn't. And so what I found myself was in grief and trying to follow the flickers. Like, how do you make yourself through? It feels like you're walking in peanut butter, right? And what I realized is everyone has grief. It may be grief of a job. It may be grief that your child went off. It may be grief of a home that you're excited to sell, but you sold it. There's these double-edged swords that we have this happiness of the beginnings, but yet there's a chapter ending. And in that beginning and ending, there's this grief that we're meant to honor because grief is love. And we've looked at it in a way that is maybe not as positive and purposeful as it can be. And so when we think about it and we're like, oh, we're just finding our way home, home to our purpose, home to our joy, maybe it can shift a little bit and be more our friend versus our friend to me.
Yeah, and there's constant change. We just did a podcast 2 days ago where that was the theme: constant change, always together. It's my parents are celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary on January 3rd, 2026. And so this idea of constant change and always together, maybe you can talk about that a little bit, because the constant change means there's birth and there's death, there's starts and there's ends, and there's joy and then there's grief. Well, it's a constant all through our lives if you're lucky enough to live a long life. So talk about, you mentioned reframing that a little bit, but just give your thoughts on the idea of the constancy of change, and then the second part, always together, what's like always maybe staying together or staying whole yourself, not necessarily a partner, but constant change, always together. What does that mean to you?
Right. So constant change for me is we try to avoid the messiness. So I'm a designer. I design beautiful spaces and lives. And people are like, they always say, I should have called you sooner, but it was such a mess. I'm like, no, 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 no. The mess is the portal, right? Like if you've ever cleaned a room, you get messier before you can actually get to the place you want to be. You empty it, right? And somehow we fear this emptying, we fear this less, and yet that is the exact magic. So I think that when we befriend the thing we fear the most,
Yeah.
it is where there's some really beautiful magic. And
Yeah.
then the second question you had is, how do we stay together? So, wow,
Yeah.
congratulations to your mom and dad, 75 years. I had grandparents that did that. And what I really witness in these connections with people and with spaces is making the commitment to us. It's not pretty every day. I'm sure you saw your parents fight and you saw them grumble and you saw things thrown on the table. I mean, there's moments that things have to break apart so better things can come together. So it's like, yes, the conflict is part of the beauty. Instead of seeing it
Yeah.
like it's going to break apart, see it as, oh, look, we are witnessing this together. It's really gross. It doesn't feel good. And we're going to find the
Yeah.
tools to keep going. And I think that is what my purpose is like, how do we make it fun? Okay, it's not fun in this
Yeah.
very moment, but how do I promise that there's going to be light at the end of this and you can do this?
Well, and if you, my experience in life, as you've gone through so many ups and downs and ups and downs, if you don't take the ups too seriously and claim credit for them, or the downs too miserably, or to say woe is me, and you know that there's always this change, then when you're in the mess, you can make it more enjoyable by saying, I wonder how I'm going to get out of this. I know I'm going to get out of it, but how can I
Yeah.
get through it? I know we're going to. What's the lesson I'm going to learn? What's the technique I'm going to use? How can I draw from my past experiences?
And how much fun can we make it? So even when my husband and I are fighting, because I'm now remarried, it's like, how much fun can we have? Do we need to gamify this? Do we need to take a break? I mean, the one thing
Yeah.
about my partner that had cancer, like their needles were this big going into his back. I'm showing you, it's like 2 feet. That's like ridiculous, the pain he's in, right? And he's like joking and figuring out how fun he can make it. And I was like, if you can do that in cancer, like figure out how to gamify it, then I can freaking do that in anything in life. Like, come on, we can figure this out.
Very good. Very good. All right. Thank you, Annette. Now let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the world can get to know you through our happy formula. It's super simple, but it's really powerful. And it goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, or emotionally? In other words, Annette, what do you do on a regular basis to create the power you need to take really great care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty in you so you can be a giver to others?
So, what I always talk to my clients about is what's your morning momentum? So there was this an army man that said every morning if you make your bed you've accomplished something, right? Like you've done a purpose. And I took that to the next step is like, what is it? How am I going to feed my body? And I don't worry about my brain so much because my brain works overtime. So I really focus on my body, heart, and soul as my morning practice because I feel like my brain is always in the driver's seat and I'm always trying to get it to balance. So the first thing I do for me is a body scan from my toes to my head. Is there anything my body wants me to know today that it needs or it wants to tell me, give me information? And then I literally take a breath. Sometimes I'll meditate, but sometimes it's just 3 big breaths into my belly just to really feel the oxygen. I mean, oxygen is life. So, like, just really be grateful for it and just feel it. And when you think about that, that's less than a minute that you're doing a body scan and you're breathing before my feet hit the ground. Okay. The next thing I do is art because I love to create. So, as a little girl, I would love to paint rocks and do crazy things. So, I create, and it's not for final product because most of it goes in the fire. It's literally my prayer. It's how I pray and I create and I allow myself to listen.
Yeah.
And then I head out the door. I have a dog named Doug, and we head out the door for
Doug.
nature and we do our nature walk. And I do my gratitudes in nature
Yeah.
because I found that I get more creative. I notice more things because I'm looking for what am I grateful for today because I don't want it to be the same as yesterday. So it's kind of like my little play search for gratitude. And when I walk in the door after taking care of all of that, I say, what is my intention for the day? Who do I
Mm.
be? Do I be present? Am I light today? Am I love? And it's different every day. Sometimes I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. I'm in a funk. I'm just going to be curious. And that's totally fine too. But that's how my day starts. And so that's how I fill my cup.
Very good. And how did you come to name a dog Doug?
There is a cartoon named Up, and it's like he's so lovable and he listens, and then he sees a squirrel and he's like, "Squirrel?" And that is our Doug because we're like, he's so trained, he's so awesome. And then a bunny goes by, we're like, okay, he only is trained if there's no bunny or squirrels. So
Yeah, yeah, very good. Okay, now let's discuss my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. It's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. Or, as you might say, I think I read in your notes, tiny moves can create great tidal waves. So, this
Mhm.
concept is so powerful because it's all about mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing I can always do something better tomorrow than today. And for me, it creates a gentle, relentless, never ending power that keeps lifting my life higher and higher day after day after day. So, Annette, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can keep giving more and impacting more and more lives?
For me, every day it's the physical, keeping my body healthy, right? Like the walks. It is the art. The art does show up in my book because you have to do it a million times bad to come up with something that's good. So there was this little study where they said they took two groups. They told one group that they had to make as much pottery as possible by the end of the month. And they told the other group, we need a perfect piece of pottery. And guess which group had the perfect pottery? The one that did crappy pottery every day and just did as much as they can. So when I talk about my art practice, that is really my listening and my coming in. And that's the building of my intuition. That's my knowing. My art shows up in the day in really interesting ways and starts building that connection to what's for the highest good of all. And then keeping my physical body working. I'm 50 years old. So making sure I do my yoga and do all of the things that help our physical bodies support us so we can be a vehicle in our purpose is super important. When it comes to design, it's cleaning something. Open space every day, because guess what? We add stuff all the time. So my husband does not like this one, but I'm like, all right, come on. What are we getting rid of today? Or what are we cleaning up? Let's do the counter, right? It's something small. It isn't a huge thing. It's like maybe cleaning off your desk. It's maybe cleaning out a
Yep.
drawer. Who doesn't have that one junk drawer where you find the mystery, right? So it's just small things like that that then add up that your home keeps flowing.
Yep. That's it. That is it. Kaizen is awesome. Okay, let's explore purpose. That's the second element of our formula. And I've observed that the big major life transformations, those huge discoveries of purpose, often, sadly, come from devastation. Addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster, something awful strips a life to its core, resulting in a big and often unexpected change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover my purpose through inspiration. So, how about you, Annette? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed the unique and distinct purpose you were meant to live?
I can think of two. I can think of a good, inspiring, and I can think of a hard
Okay.
moment. The moment my partner was diagnosed with cancer, we had 5 companies between the two of them, two of us. We had 7 kids,
Oh
all,
my God.
many of them were still home. And we were like, he has AML leukemia, so not just any cancer. We lived in
How,
Kansas
how, how old was he? How old
in
were
his
you at the
I was only 40. Yeah, I was in my 40s, he was in his 50s. So
time? Young.
um and we needed to go to Texas when we lived in Kansas. So it was 2 states away, an airplane ride. And we were like, how are we going to do this? Right? Very instantly, all the shoulds got dumped. It was like,
Mm.
what are the 3 things that are going to keep everybody alive and breathing? We're going to do that, and something's going to show up. And when we opened
Yeah.
that space and we became, how fun can we make this? And yeah, there's balls dropping. And yes, we dropped balls. What can we do? What's really necessary? Now, people didn't like that necessarily, right? Because we were like, that would be nice to get done, but it's not going to get done. That doesn't have to get done to close
Right.
your house. That doesn't have to, right? So that really started changing everything and really giving me some really clear view. It mattered that we
Yep.
connect with people when we were home. It mattered that we played. It mattered that people mattered. Things didn't matter. Jobs didn't matter. People
Yep.
connections matter.
Is in that moment, you stopped worrying about what wasn't important. It didn't matter if it was expected. It didn't matter if that's what culture said. It didn't matter if it upset your mom. Nothing mattered. And that's why it's so powerful. And that's why we can make change, because you'd walk through fire in that moment to get done what needed to be done. And you could care less about the stuff that was, you'd fix that later. Okay, so take us to the second one.
Or it
Oh, go
didn't
ahead.
even matter, right? It just didn't matter.
Correct.
The
And so
second one
take us
is,
to the second one, inspiration, and talk about how you used a similar power, but it came from a different place.
yeah. So there's a piece of art on my wall, if you're watching this YouTube, that is a hummingbird that's just ascending. So I walked into an art fair. I'd never been there before, new city. And I walk in and this guy is wrapping up a piece of art. And I was like, I've never met this guy. And I was like, he's like, hey, this is for you. And I was like, what? He's like, no, this is yours. He's like, oh, here, let me unwrap it. He's like, I only do masculine art. I did one piece of feminine art. It's a prayer of my mother and sister. He's a Navajo Native American. And he's like, it's called ascending. And you're here to help people ascend. They don't need to flap their wings. They simply need to be their most best selves and they're going to ascend. So this is your piece of art. And I was like, of course I paid for it and everything, but I was like, and it felt perfect. And if you see my wall, I have these deca molds that none of them are the same size. And I literally had a deca mold that fits it perfect. Like, how does that happen, right? That was the moment that then I stepped into intuitive design from real estate and being an interior designer, a drafts person, all of that, I shifted, right? Like I took all that experience, 400 home transformations, combined it with all my life coaching and healing and said, yes, I'm going to stand in this space that I hold a space for people to ascend to their highest selves. And so that is that piece of art.
That's awesome. And how long ago was that?
Oh, wow. It was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that, Annette. Now let's take a quick commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Are you ready to transform your life? At happyliving.com, we've discovered 4 keys to help you live with purpose, joy, and significance. Unlock your truth with the Happy Quiz. Unlock your happy formula with inspiring stories from the Something Significant Show. Unlock your roadmap to happiness with our free ebook, Making Your Mark of Significance. And unlock your inspired life with our life-changing e-course, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life. This is your time to shine. Go to happyliving.com now and click Unlock the Power of You. Unlock your power. Live your best life. happyliving.com.
Kits for Kids are materials handed out by first responders to children during emergencies. The goal of distributing these kits is to mitigate the emotional trauma children experience during distressing events. These kits also help foster positive interactions between first responders and children, building trust and reducing anxiety. These kits feature toys and activities for children to engage with, providing distractions and stimulation. Models of first responder vehicles help children familiarize themselves with emergency personnel. Additionally, the kits include noise-canceling headphones and raincoats to help comfort children during distressing events. You can directly support Kits for Kids in several ways, including donating directly or sponsoring fundraising, volunteering your company for team building, or referring a law enforcement or first responder department to receive kits. Thank you for your support. Please visit www.wytv7.org for more information.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Annette Farha, an intuitive design coach, an author, and a transformational storyteller whose work bridges the seen and unseen. Through her company, A Design Discovery, and her inspiring memoir, Finding My Way Home, Annette helps people align their spaces and their lives with their souls. Her gift is turning grief into grace and clutter into clarity, guiding others home to themselves through love, energy, and playful intervention. Annette, I just love that. And I think you're going to love this article that I found called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. It says that the simple act of giving can become a gateway to discovering your reason for being on the planet. And science confirms it, that when we give our time, our talents, and our treasure, it doesn't just help others, it transforms us too. It helps us to overcome obstacles, it helps us to find meaning, and it helps us discover our purpose. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So how about you, Annette? Has giving your time, talents, and treasure been a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting through hardships in your life and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Yeah, it feels funny because what I give is this energy. Like I have so much energy. And even at 90, my grandma had this energy. So I think it's a family thing. So I give this energy and I give this playful, do it wrong. Like how many times can we do it wrong, right? Like Thomas Edison did it wrong how many times? It's not about getting it right. It's about playing and learning and building that muscle to trust you. That's what it's about. So that is the way I play. I've really noticed since my kids have went off to college, I also adopt kids. Like, we have Sunday family food night that I just has nothing to do with my work, but I love feeding college kids and just gathering people together just to play games. And so this whole play and make art, they're like, I did a whole craft night. They're like, what are we making? I don't know. We're going to make it up, right? Like that's the point. So how much fun can you have in life with what you have? I don't go buy anything. It's just, this is what we have. It's going to be a menagerie of goodness knows what, but that's the fun of it. And if we start living from there, then what's possible?
You ever get the feeling people take life too seriously?
Oh my gosh, all the time. My dad was always like, he made so much fun of me. He's like, that is worth, because when you're a teenager, you're very dramatic. So my dad and my brother would be like, this is a red carpet moment. We need to rate it. I'd be like, oh, in my drama, right? And I'd roll my eyes. They'd look at the ceiling. So I grew up in a family that it was like, this can't be, nobody's dying. Who is dying? And so it was just how much fun can we have? How can we make this into a sitcom or cartoon? And even when we shared our stories, we'd find the funny in it. And I think there's just really some great parts of that we can do. And that's why when you see when I design, it isn't magazine perfect. We're designing our hearts and putting them on the outside. We're looking at our environments and asking it what it wants to tell us. When we notice something that we're like, ugh, you avoid, why do you have it? Why are you keeping it? That's telling you something, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the gift I give is like, hey, be the you because you're the only you, right? The rest of it doesn't matter. The rest of it's somebody else's story, not your business.
Yeah, that's it. And so the science tells us that giving, like you're describing, giving your energy to others brings real meaning to our lives. And the joy that we feel from doing work that creates value for others, that confirms it, it's joyful. But there's something more to it than just the giving in that. I believe that the magic of life comes when you're giving from living in your purpose, because that's when joy flows, not just to the receiver, but to the giver too, and even to the people witnessing the giving. So Annette, I'd love our audience to witness what that magic looks like in your life. So sit back, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact you're making on their lives by giving from living in your purpose. One person said, Annette helps people work with what they have and where they are. Another said she keeps it real, the grief, the joy, the pain, it's all part of the human experience. And another, she's supported me through life transitions and helped me grow as a kinder and more compassionate person towards others and myself. Still others said, Annette truly is a spark of joy. She's magical, a brilliant designer, a single mom, a badass business builder, authentic, brave, comforting, compassionate, creative, efficient. She's honest, a cheerleader, and a grief holder, helpful, insightful, inspiring, intuitive, loving, and wise, masterful, non-judgmental, practical, talented, uplifting, vulnerable. She seems to know when someone needs a hug. She's truly changed my life for the better. I've learned how to trust my intuition, not only in design, but in all areas of my life. She's teaching me how to be my true and authentic self, and most importantly, to love myself, which I never thought possible. Her book is such a beautiful and honest look at what it means to move through grief, a truly moving read. She holds nothing back. I couldn't put the book down. And finally, this person said, Annette is a special ray of sunshine. So Annette, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me tear up a little bit. I know I know all my clients, so yeah, it fills my heart with a lot of joy. That's what I want, is more love, more light into this world for all of us. It could always use more love. I've never seen a world say, no, no more love.
It's love, and love in the spirit's the one thing. The more you give, the more you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it, folks. That's what this show is all about. We're here, Annette and me and all our guest stars, to encourage you, our listeners, to find that same magic in your lives. It's available for each of us. It's what I believe. And it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time, talents, and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose. And then giving from living in your purpose brings profound joy to your life and to the lives of those around you too. So it seems that giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So Annette, if I'm going to capture the entire exponential power of our happy formula, I've got to tweak it just a little bit more to power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
That sounds about right.
Very good. Okay, let's wrap things up with a lightning round. I just love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and ask you to tell us what they mean to you, and give us the very first thoughts that pop into your mind, because we like to call this a lightning round.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Here we go. From Ernest Hemingway. He said, the world breaks everyone, and afterwards, some are strong at the broken places.
Reminds me of stained glass, right? Like the light only gets through because it got broken. So don't be afraid of breaking.
Great, great. From Michelangelo, he said, the sculpture is already complete within the marble block before I start my work. It's already there. I just have to chisel away the unnecessary rock.
I love this quote. You are already whole. You're already perfect. You're already brilliant. You don't need to do one blasted thing. Just keep letting go, letting go. Just let it go, because all of you is there. You've just picked up stuff that's not yours. It's like digging in somebody's purse and putting it in your purse. You don't need it. Get it out of there.
That's great. That certainly applies to design, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right. This is from Joseph Campbell, who said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek.
Oh, man, this sums up grief like that, right? Oh, it also makes me think of Star Wars. Remember when he has to go in by himself and Yoda's like, you got to go by yourself. There is the only way through grief is through, and only you can go. So if you have someone experiencing grief, if you are experiencing grief, if you have someone experiencing grief, keep being the light. You can be a light at the end of the tunnel, but you cannot walk it for them. They have to walk it. So all you can do is love them more along the way. If you're in grief and you think you can hide under the covers, it's okay to rest under the covers, but keep taking small steps forward. Find the flickers. Find even one gratitude. Be grateful for the soft covers you're covering your head with. It's okay. That's the start. And just celebrate the start and celebrate each little flicker.
That's great. This one's one of yours. And so why don't you tell us what it means when you say, you mentioned this earlier, play is the portal, but it continues on. Treat change as a creative game. Move a chair, dance in the room, follow the flicker, what you just said.
Yes. Yes. So I had one client literally struggling in her business, and she had a couch that was cutting off flow to her living room. I said, move the couch. She got 5 deals like that. So we try to make it really, really hard. It's not hard. It's all here to help us, and it's a portal. So when you look at everything that comes up as a mirror, it's like, hello, look, you've got lipstick on your teeth. Look at it like that, not like it's trying to hurt us. And play with it. You're probably going to get it wrong. She moved the couch and it was ugly where it was. Who cares, right? Like, she moved it again. Just move it. Just move things. Let things go in the garage, in your trunk. Who cares? Just don't be afraid to take action, because there is momentum in action. So just play with it like you're a preschooler. Remember when they gave us a bunch of supplies in preschool and we just made weird things, and your mom had to wear a toilet paper roll with spaghetti glued to it? Like, who cares? She didn't die. It was fun. Go back to that, and that spirit of, I can't get it wrong because I'm just playing to learn.
So I didn't bring this in for this interview, but if you're listening to this, and also just for you, Annette, if you haven't read this small, it's like an essay called The Golden Pool of Magic. You got to go look it up online and read it. And it's exactly what Annette's talking about. It's discovering that magic and that passion and that creativity and that play that existed within all of us in our youths. And it's still in there. We forgot about it. It's a brilliant essay. You'll love it. Annette, I almost brought it in instead of the quotes for you, because you're representing what it is. You'll love it. So, but our final quote for today is from Goth, our show anchor. And he said, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Amen. Just take that first step. You've never made it to the top of a series of steps with one leap. So I don't know why we all think we can. You just got to take the first step. That's it. Like, what's my next step? And then go to the next step. Remember when you're teaching a little kid to walk? You're like, just the step. You just keep edging them up. And then the next thing they get to the top and they're so excited. That's how it is as adults too, right? Like, somehow we're like, oh, I'm just not going to start because look how far up that is. No little kid would ever say that. So just take the step. It can be, and guess what? If you have to take a step back, take a step back. It's not a big deal. There's momentum in the step back that helps you take 2 steps forward. So there's just no doing it wrong. Instead of seeing right or wrong, just see it as, yes, I took a step. Okay. And I took a step back. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and also, you made me think about the idea that if you're trying to clean up a room that's just a disaster, or a body, or a relationship, or a big old mess, then you say, I'm going to clean up my mess, and I want it to be cleaned up like that. But you never think about how many years did it take for you to make that great big old mess. And there's got to be some equivalent timeline for climbing out of it, correct?
Yes, I helped a beautiful family of 5 that was in that situation. And I was like, all right, we're going to step it down, right? Like, we're only doing his closet. We're like, right. I gave them each small tasks, and then we kept checking it off. And they were at 9 weeks and they're like, oh my gosh, this whole house. But it was 9 weeks. It wasn't 9 hours. So
Yeah. Very good. Okay, now, my friends, it's your chance to be a giver too. If today's show with Annette Farha inspired and motivated you, then please share your enthusiasm with our amazing team at WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage people in need. Every gift matters, big and small, because your generosity fuels change. With your support and their tireless work, lives are being transformed, and our circle of love keeps expanding. So donate today. It'll do good. It'll make you feel good too. Annette, I love how you turn life's messes into magic, reminding us that clarity, permission, and play are the gateways home. And I admire your ability to meet people in their messy middle and show them that transformation can feel light and joyful and human. And I'm super happy that you've shared your authentic, compassionate, and radiant spirit on our show today. Will you please take a few minutes and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
if you want any more information, you want to learn more, I have a free energy diagnostic at my website, A Design Discovery. It just helps you know, but you're doing nothing wrong. So if you wake up and play, I feel like it's a win. And celebrate. Just celebrate all the little things like we do for a toddler, right? Like, whoa, you took a step. If that's it, they're like, feel how good it feels just to celebrate. So I hope everyone finds their joy and knows how beautiful and brilliant they are. And if there's anything I can do to help, you can find me at A Design Discovery.
Very good. Thank you, Annette. And friends, it's because of stories like Annette's and listeners like you that we've been named one of the top 100 life purpose podcasts worldwide, ranked at number 17. So thank you for supporting our mission and sharing these stories of inspiration and purpose. I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Annette and reaching folks just like you ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Annette Farha. Find her, friend her, buy her book, Finding My Way Home. And as she mentioned, get your free energetic design diagnostic and explore her beautiful world of intuitive design, soulful storytelling, and energy-first transformation. You'll find all her links in our show notes. And from me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and click Unlock Here. It could be the first step to unlocking the life you were meant to live, one that's filled with purpose and joy and real significance. And as you begin unlocking, think about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.